Hey out there, legal warriors. In this video, I'm going to cover the problems with SCRAM, S-C-R-A-M, and that's from an attorney's point of view. What is SCRAM? It's something you want to try to avoid, so if you're interested in this area of the law, stay tuned. This is the video for you. My name is Attorney Lance Fryrear. I'm a defense attorney in Linwood, Washington. My law firm's been defending people charged with crimes all throughout Washington State for more than 20 years, and I'm putting out these videos to help educate the public. So if you find this useful, please like and please subscribe. More people get to see it. More people get the help they need. Now, what is SCRAM? SCRAM is a device that you wear on your ankle that supposedly monitors whether or not you've consumed any alcohol, and it's real common in Washington State. In fact, there's a law in Washington State about a second offense DUI. If you have a second DUI or worse, and you show up in court, the court has to either order an interlock in your vehicle or 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, alcohol monitoring. And the most common way they do that in this state is something called SCRAM. They can also do a handheld device, usually a smart start device where you have to blow into this thing every 4 hours or so, but then you forget or it runs out of juice or something. Now it's an automatic violation. So instead, I call it the Lindsay Lohan bracelet. You put it on your ankle, you pay about $500 a month, and now you have to live with the problems with the science of it. Now, these are my experiences and my opinions about what I've seen my clients have to go through with a SCRAM device. So what are the problems with it? Well, the device has a sensor that's a certain little known distance from your skin, and there's all these things you have to worry about because it's not actually measuring anything. They're not putting a needle in your ankle and checking what's in your blood. Basically, there's a sensor that's measuring, in the way I describe it, as atmospheric alcohol, right? There may be alcohol in the atmosphere at any time. If you spray some perfume, which is mainly alcohol, that's putting alcohol into the atmosphere, right? If you work at a bar, there's alcohol everywhere in the atmosphere, not just from the spilled alcohol, but from people breathing it out of their bodies, right? The whole theory of how breath test devices work is people expel alcohol vapor, right? The part of their vapor coming out of our mouth is alcohol. That's how a breath test device works. Now, this stuff here on our ankle with the SCRAM device, it measures alcohol in the atmosphere. And so what's wrong with that, Lance? I mean, what's wrong with that? Well, what's wrong with it is it doesn't always get it right if the alcohol's in the atmosphere by being sweated out of your body. That's the theory, right? You are eliminating alcohol through perspiration, and if that alcohol that gets perspired out basically goes down at a certain rate, rise over run slope, if any of us remember from school, then the machine says, that must be alcohol that was consumed by this guy or gal with the SCRAM, and therefore this is a violation because it went down at a rate that the machine believes is similar to what the average human would expel it out and how it would look. Compared to if we spray the ankle with perfume, it's going to be a huge number that's just off the charts and then go down really quickly. So that must be something that we didn't consume. And even worse, if the machine can't get a reading, it puts out what it calls a tamper warning. And what does tamper sound like? Well, it sounds like we probably cut it off our ankle, right? The police are going to be out looking for us any instant. And that might mean, hey, your sock got in the wrong place, or hey, this plastic bag they want you to put out over it when you shower got in the wrong place, and now the sensor can't read anything, and so it's a tamper. The nightmare horror stories that I have lived fighting the court successfully, thankfully, goes something like this. Hey, the court gets a report of a tamper with alcohol present. That's one of the reports they put out. It's a tamper with alcohol present. So what do we think of? Well, this guy must have got hammered and cut the thing off his leg. He's drunk. I better go put a $100,000 warrant out for his arrest and go drag him in here because this is what the report says. But yet, if we get to a hearing and we get people from whatever group has that SCRAM on, they might testify, well, no, a tamper just means it's not working. We don't know why. May not be anything intentional. Could be anything unintentional, could be why it's not working. might not have anything to do with the client why it's not working. And what does alcohol present mean? It just means that registered alcohol is somewhere in the atmosphere, not in their body. But that's not what the report doesn't say. Hey, it's broken and there's alcohol around, but we don't know if this person drank. That's not what it says. It says tamper with alcohol present. And now all alarm bells go off and we get all these probation people who don't know what they're talking about, in my opinion, raising holy hellfire in the court. And now we're fighting for someone's life when all that happened was something went wrong with the machine, right? And so why I don't like SCRAM is because no one that I've run into has taken the time to be educated on what the flaws are in the system. Right, what the flaws are of how it can give a false reading, and how the words that I often see chosen to describe things create assumptions and alarm and destruction in the system. Because, of course, if you have a SCRAM on, you already don't have any trust from the court. They don't trust you, right? They have to monitor you because they think you're drinking all the time. And so what do you have to do to get a SCRAM off? Well, if it's not a mandatory SCRAM, if it's discretionary, well, the best thing to do is get into an alcohol treatment program where you've got random UAs going on. You get your attorney to send out a request to the court to, hey, remove the SCRAM because of the other stuff going on, right? And let's say if you have a SCRAM on because you didn't have an interlock in a car, because if you can't put your interlock in a second offense, they have to order something like a SCRAM. Well, if you go get that interlock in a car now, well, maybe we can discretionarily ask for them to remove it. What else is I don't like about SCRAM? It's painful, is what my clients told me. I haven't worn any, but this thing vibrates to make sure it's on. I don't know. I mean, it's a mess. And so before any people who work for SCRAM get mad at me, these are what I've experienced in court with this particular device. So, hey, if they're getting better, feel free to reach out to me, keep me educated. I'll be able to put out an update video. But from my point of view, we want to do anything we can to avoid this because the results are treated like it's absolutely foolproof from the overworked court systems that don't have any understanding. I do have an engineering degree, so I have some level of understanding compared to some others. And that's not how we should be running, whether or not we remain a free person or not. UAs are bad enough. We're having all types of problems, but I'd rather take a UA any day over trusting a SCRAM device. So I hope you found this useful. If so, please like and please subscribe. More people get to see it. More people get the help they need. And if you got a legal problem in Washington State, a criminal matter, feel free to reach out to my firm. If we get on board, we'll listen to what happened, we'll identify a way forward, and we'll be there for you. Thank you.